What is energy clearing? There's so much talk now about healing with energy, quantum healing, energy work in general, and this short film is going to describe what it's like to work with energy and how to get started. So we have to start with what is energy healing? What does an energy healer actually do? One of the most important things that I found is an energy healer will look at somebody and somebody's life patterns and whatever they come to them for, and they will see not the person that's standing in front of them, they will see the person that they came here to be. So they look at their client not as broken, but as how do you clear the stuff out of the way, preventing this person from reaching their highest level, their highest state, the state they came here to embody. And many people don't even know they're energy healers, or they're healers in general. And if that's you, if you're doubting, like, well, what if am I a healer? What if I am? What if I'm not? If you have the tendency to see people at their best, then chances are, that's one of the big signs. Chances are you are an energy healer at heart. And it's often a really big lesson for healers to realize that even though they see the person in front of them at their best and who they really could be, who they came here to be, it doesn't mean that that person is going to be that. And that can be a tough one. Energy clearing is a tool that a healer will use, or anybody can use actually, but it's an energy tool that finds the blocks preventing whoever it is from reaching their goals, from being who they came here to be. And it removes them, it clears them, it erases them basically from the energy field. Energy clearing is simply the process of clearing up negative emotions, old patterns, beliefs, thought forms, just about anything that is not in line with who somebody really wants to be. It's releasing those blocks that keep you stuck and chained down. Now, it's kind of common right now to be looking towards mindset, good attitude, and positive thinking, the law of attraction, all very logical ways of working towards abundance and towards becoming who you want to be. And they sound good, and it's great to have a good attitude. It's great. The law of attraction is real, and positive mindset will make or break you. However, the subconscious holds the key. The subconscious is where these blocks are. And until somebody uses a technique like energy clearing or hypnosis, these blocks just remain. So you can do all types of work on the logical, conscious level, but until the energetic blocks and subconscious patterns are released, it's very, very hard to change. When you do energy clearing, you never relive anything. You just clear from the energetic levels. For example, if someone's in trauma, if you're in trauma or stuck in the past with trauma, you're reliving it all the time unconsciously. It's in your field. So everything you experience in your day-to-day life is being run through these trauma filters, these traumatic experience filters from the past. So you're constantly reliving it. In energy clearing, we take the emotion or the pattern, and instead of reliving it, we release the energy behind it. So let's say something happens and you get triggered by some event. That energy is stuck in your field and it just got triggered. It doesn't mean it was new. And as you become triggered over and over with different events, but it's the same energy, this energy just backs up even more and it gets stronger. The emotions pile on and it just continues to get stronger until it's cleared. In an energy clearing session, whatever the issue is, doesn't really matter. We go straight to the energy, holding it in place and release it. This isn't a new concept. The shamanic cultures have been doing this type of work for hundreds of years. It's funny because I do get a lot of people and clients asking me, so how do I clear this huge issue I've been dealing with for my entire life? And they want to do it by themselves. They want to just go in and tackle it, which is, hey, power to you. It's great. But the only real answer I have is, go get help, get it cleared. And then if you like what you found, if you like the techniques that you learned, then learn how to do it. Don't do it in reverse. You wouldn't go become a surgeon so you could operate on yourself. If you needed an operation, you would go get the operation. And then if you wanted to become a surgeon, then you go to medical school. That's kind of a funny analogy, but that's it. If you have a lot of energy blocks and some that are traumatic, you do want to go find help from somebody who can really just clear them for you. Or I guess a better analogy would be you don't try to cut your own hair. I mean, some people do. I cut my bangs all the time and I'm always sorry. But you might, get lucky sometimes and your hair looks okay. But for the most part, it could go really, really wrong, right? If you have a traumatic event or a really uncomfortable or unhealthy pattern that you want to clear, just know there's people that can do it, that can clear it for you. And I'm not saying that this is a super special skill that only a few people have, or that you have to be special or anything like that. Not at all. I'm saying this is a real skill that takes time and practice to learn. And, it's really worth having. And, when done right, it can just be life transforming. So get more information, especially if it's something big. By big, I really mean important. For example, for most of my life, I struggled, really struggled with public speaking. I just couldn't do it, period. I couldn't get in front of a class in school, didn't want to be in front of people at work. I didn't want to be talking in front of a group of anybody, even kids. No groups whatsoever. I was comfortable one-on-one, but never in a group. I'd already been in hypnosis and NLP, and I was experiencing this subconscious pattern over and over, and I just couldn't seem to get over it. Although I was reading books and I was doing visualizations, but it wasn't changing. I knew that I should be able to speak in front of, 2 people or more. But I would find, I would just be in panic when I tested it out. Like if I would try to get in front of a group of people, it was, excruciating. And my conscious mind understood, it knew that I should be able to do this. I was capable, I had the training, but my subconscious mind, my energy field, had a different program and different reactions, beliefs, energy blocks related to public speaking. So let me explain, what are energy blocks and how do you get them? How are they formed? When you go back over the years of your life, all the way back to when you were a small child, or maybe not even so small, but as a child, you were taking in information and you were making assumptions and you were gathering all the details of how life is, your representations of how life is, your belief system around what this world is, what things mean, who you are, how do people react to you? Do they like you? Do you have negative reactions from people? Well, everything that you experience, especially as a young child, goes straight into your subconscious and into your energy field, and it becomes your version of how life is. It becomes your model of the world, right? How the world is. There's people that think the world is wonderful, and there's people that think that the world is awful. That people are nice, people are generally good, and just the opposite. So a lot of this, well, all of it basically, is based on your version of the world. Were you accepted as a child? Were you in a loving home? Was there fighting around you? And this does not have to be only in the home. You could have been in a very loving home and had fighting somewhere in your reality. Maybe not even somebody you knew. But it's all of this information is going in and it's forming the model of the world. How things are. What life is like and what that means about you. So a lot of the original core beliefs, I'm going to say the core negative beliefs, like I'm not lovable, people don't like me, I'm not good enough, I'll never have enough, we don't have enough money. The list goes on and on. And for the first 7 years or so of your life, you're just taking in everything, whether it really pertained to you or not. It's your version of what was happening around you. And children, for the most part, and a lot of adults too, take everything personally. So if they see some people fighting around them, they might automatically assume they did something wrong. There's something wrong with them. So all of these energies that they take in from the outside, they form beliefs and fears, limitations. There may be an emotional charge, or not just a emotional charge, there may be quite a few emotional charges, like anger, sadness, like we said, fear, guilt, and shame are all stored and triggered from the energetic and subconscious field. Now, we did say they all come from childhood, which is not exactly true. you can form blocks after childhood. And this would happen with repetitive patterns. So if somebody, they're older and something keeps happening over and over and over again, this can form a block. As can something that's traumatic. Something that sends somebody into a state of disbelief, of just when time stands still, when you just are kind of in shock. That can also form blocks. And often when a child forms blocks or has blocks from childhood, this can also be a sign of previous life blocks. So if somebody has trauma from a previous life, past life, it will show up again in this life, often in childhood. Because it's here, these things are showing up to be cleared, to be released and transmuted. And energy clearing is the process where you go in, you find the belief or the emotion or the trauma, and you clear it energetically. How would somebody know that they have energy blocks? I get that asked a lot, and all you need to do is look around and notice what's working and what's not working. If you have something in your life that it is just not working no matter how hard you try, or if you're continuously getting triggered by something, even though you've been working on it, and it just doesn't seem to ever go away, then that is some sort of an energy block. And one of the biggest signs is the logical versus the illogical. Energy blocks are super illogical. So in the example of my public speaking, I knew that I had the skills, I could speak, I can stand up, I wanted to speak in front of a group, but I would have a panic. I would just go into a panic, which is very illogical. I couldn't figure out why. I'd never had a bad experience. There was no logical explanation. And that is one of the telltale signs, because it's subconscious. And when somebody creates a block, I'm not saying this was created for me in childhood, but if somebody has a block from childhood or from a past life, they don't have the story or the information or the awareness of it to say, oh, I know why that happens. It's because, I fell down on stage, or, whatever. It's just, there's no story behind it. So it's just very illogical. So that is one of the biggest signs, is that you've worked on something, you really understand it from a conscious level. You could be 100% sure that what you're doing is in line with what you want. And then boom, something happens and you get triggered, and it's super illogical. It's like, I don't know what happened, but it does. It happens. So that is one of the examples of how to know if you have subconscious blocks, energy blocks. And just about everybody does. The trick is to look at what area of your life isn't working. The area of your life that's working, that things are good, like don't bother, don't touch those. Look at what needs to be cleared, at the ones that are stopping you. What's holding you back? And clear it energetically. As you clear the energy that's preventing you from being who you came here to be, or that prevents your clients from achieving their goals and achieving who they came here to be, as you systematically clear this stuff out, you will be opening to wholeness. You'll be opening to true freedom and really getting in touch with that authentic part of you that came here for something greater. And have fun and enjoy yourself in the process.